All right, folks. So we've seen this actually happen previously already. We've seen this happening. Now, we're seeing it actually with food and groceries and consumers shopping and their spending habits and their choices and selections for where they choose to spend their money as a result of inflation. So let me break that down. Let me give you an example. The higher income earners, we're talking about the folks that probably bring in on an adjusted gross income, depending on your area, depending on your city, your zip code, your state, wherever you live. These are the folks that are making over six figures. These are the families, these are the households that were not living the paycheck to paycheck. They were paying their bills on time, in full, probably not making minimum payments, and they were, let's just say, living the good life, okay? And so then post-pandemic recovery rolls around, the money starts drying up, demand just forces, the reduction of supply and the increase in demand forces prices up. We got a little bit of price fixing, a little bit of price gouging, sprinkle in a little dose of inflation there, and you have this perfect storm that we have here now. Well, those folks decided that they are going to change for the most part. Some of them didn't change, but a lot of them did, where and how they were going to shop and buy. So ultimately what that did was it put them in a situation where they then started encroaching on the income brackets beneath them and where they would shop and buy. And ultimately, the people who were spending a ton of money at the expensive grocery stores, for instance, let's just say like Whole Foods. Let's just say if you were shopping traditionally at Whole Foods, perhaps maybe even shopping traditionally at Target, maybe shopping at some of these, boutique specialty places like Pottery Barn, or is it not Pottery Barn? It was, maybe it is Pottery Barn. It's pretty expensive. Williams-Sonoma, some of those expensive places. Now those folks are deciding to take their dollars, take their income, buy what they need, and they're going to buy it from lower price options and alternatives. Well, what that does is it then takes a toll and a hit, and it has an impact on the availability and supply for the folks that used to shop there. Now, those folks may continue to shop there, or they may also be in a similar situation where inflation and price increases and price fixing and price gouging has affected them. And whatever the situation may be, they're saying, we can't shop here anymore. We're going to go shop somewhere else. We're going to go shop at the thrift store. We're going to shop at the bargain outlet. We're going to shop at Big Lots, or somewhere that is less expensive than where the middle income earners, let's say middle income earners, were spending their money. Then the same trickle down effect happens with the folks that were shopping at the thrift stores and the Big Lots and the bargain outlets. They ultimately really don't have anywhere to go. Okay. So they have to then get really creative or go away. Now, I don't want to talk about the go away part. We'll say that for another video. I just want to make the connection to what we've already seen and experienced in the consumer market and how that's going to play out in the jobs market. Now, I'm reading headlines here, working on putting together some information for you guys on some future videos, but it's pretty clear and apparent. The jobs market is going to have some turnover. It's going to have some turnover. It's going to have some layoffs. It's going to have some hiring freezes. It's going to have some more people losing their jobs, getting fired, terminated, and seeing an interruption or elimination of their income. And Intel is planning on laying off more employees in November. Microsoft is already laying off folks. Compass is laying off. I mean, there's so much going on right now, but the Fed, Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chair, has already said that this is the plan, okay? This is the plan to slow the economy, to shrink the budget, the balance sheet, so that in theory, businesses will then be forced to lower prices to reduce inflation. Now, there's a whole lot of nonsense going on with that. Elon Musk actually mentioned something about, how this is actually going to be damaging to everybody, especially how the rates are makes it cost more to borrow. So it makes it harder for businesses to grow. So it's a devastating blow to businesses too. Don't think that the businesses are just free and clear. They're going to feel this pain as well. And ironically, the federal governments and the local governments or state governments, like they're not on the same page, because in a completely separate scenario, completely separate instance, we're going to see another huge fallout as a result of minimum wage increases, particularly as this all centers and revolves around food. Remember I told you the food is going to be a huge component. Watch my last video. I told you guys about this. Well, the local governments aren't really talking to the federal governments, because the federal governments are trying to slow the job market. They're trying to make it more expensive to borrow money. They're trying to make it harder for businesses to keep prices high, while the local governments are trying to make it more expensive for businesses to operate, especially, let's just say, food service based restaurants, as they're trying to raise the minimum wage to pay the workers. But the businesses are saying, look, if we do that, either we're going to have to close or we're going to have to charge more, or both. We can charge more, but we're going to have to close down some of these locations, or we're going to charge more and we're going to have to let go some of our staff and run a skeleton crew because the additional costs. Let's think about it. If you were making $5, $6 an hour as a server, and local legislation comes in and says we want to make it $10 to $12 an hour or even more, as a business owner, you may say to yourself, okay, fine, I can manage this. However, if you're going to double the pay for the employee, I'm going to reduce my employees in half, which is then going to continuously put the burden and the stress and the pain factor on the workers, pushing more of the higher income earners down, pushing the middle income earners lower, pushing the low income earners away. Just saying. This is a warning. This is an explanation. This is my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But if you're listening to me, then you may want to take this into consideration for what this may mean for you in the long run and how you can prepare now before it's too late. But with that being said, this is going to hit the jobs. So as these mega corporations, these big tech companies are laying off employees, those employees are then going to do the same thing that the consumers were doing. They're going to go look for another job. But the jobs that they had are probably going to be completely saturated. So they're going to go to a lower tier. So when they go to that lower tier, they're going to be extremely valuable. They're going to be a bargain for the business that have the opportunities to capture them at that lower wage, lower salary, which will then make it harder for those people in those sectors to thrive and or even get hired or possibly maintain their jobs. As better candidates, higher qualified, low cost opportunities are presenting themselves, this is going to put a strain on the lower tier, which then makes them go down a level, making it probably to the point at which maybe at some point you're going to see, relatively mid-level executives now fighting for the opportunity to be the burrito wrapper or bowl maker at Chipotle or something like that. It just could possibly be. And they're going to do it with housing also. And this isn't everybody, but these are the folks that are going to feel the pain and feel the pinch. So as their income drops and their new wage is reduced, they're going to look for ways to lower their living expenses to keep up with this change in their personal finances, okay? Which then is going to make the kind of borderline expensive apartments and housing, mainly apartments because housing is still on the edge, they're going to just dry up, because the super expensive apartments, those people are going to move out of, and the kind of expensive apartments they're going to move into. And then then it continues to push it down. So the folks in the kind of expensive apartments, they're going to go to the super cheap apartments, and it's just going to continuously push it down, 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 down. And the folks closer to the bottom who don't have that level to go down, you just go away. I mean, that's literally how this is going to play out. Like, there's really no other way that this could work. You see what I'm saying? Like, if everyone's getting knocked down a notch, whoever's at the bottom and can't get knocked down again, like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? So that's why I'm making this video now, so that if you are at the bottom or near the bottom, now is the time to figure out what you're going to do, because you're going to see increased competition and challenges from outside sources that you're not even expecting, because they are doing what they have to do to survive the effects of the economy pushed by the monetary policy by the Fed and so on and so forth. And literally, this is the beginning. And we can't even consider like home buying and real estate as a viable solution, because the interest rates are so high that no one's going to be able to or really want to take the money now and spend $500 to $1,000 to $1,500 more per month for a mortgage, with the way things are going, in the direction they're going, in the trends that we're seeing. And JP Morgan Chase president saying that, we're in a recession, we're headed for a recession. Major economists, wealthy billionaire investors, all in tune with the markets, with the economy, far better than the Fed, far better than the Fed. And they're providing accurate intel and information that I hope you guys are paying attention to. That is a clear writing and clear indication of what's going on and what's going to happen. So if that's the case, and you're getting knocked down a notch every single day, every single week, every single month, why would you run out and go buy a house? Unless you were trying to buy long-term hold strategy, buying deals, buying wedge deals, paying cash. And that's a whole nother story. That's a different story. This video here, this conversation, this explanation, this share that I have for you guys is for the folks not in that situation, not looking to buy, pay cash. This is purely for the people looking to survive and thrive, mainly just survive through this and not get wiped out and completely just have their family just completely wiped out and fall victim to the collapse of the middle class, which probably we've been saying this for several months now, but the middle class is at greatest risk. Not greatest risk, but the middle class is at a great risk of being wiped out by the upper class, the upper income class, because they're going to move down. And so then the middle class is going to become like the lower income. And then really the lowest income class is going to be at greatest risk of being wiped out. And they're going to suffer the collapse, which then has a trickle effect, because, these are the folks that are probably doing the most work for the least amount of money, which means that some of these jobs and tasks and duties are going to go to the wayside. They're going to be undone, and it's going to be very difficult to convince folks to want to do it, to work these jobs, to make so little money, to not even be able to survive. I'm working on putting together a piece for you guys on how many hours employees have to work per week just to afford rent in certain cities, where some employees have to work literally 50 to 100 hours or more per week just to afford rent. And I'm not talking about like nice rent. I'm talking about just to have a place to stay. So then it's kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this and I'm not going to make any money and I'm still going to struggle, then why would I do it? Like we're actually on the brink of a possible total economic collapse, for the fact that people are going to look at it and say, why try hard to just barely get by when I could just not try at all and pretty much be the same, And then, then we'll have to see where the government steps in and what kind of plan they'll have there. It's going to be reactionary and it's not going to be any good. But the simple fact of the matter is, we don't know what that looks like yet. We don't know what it's going to be. So all we can do, really, or at least I can do, is continue to plan and strategize and execute. Now, I hope you guys are doing the same thing. If you guys got questions or anything, comment below, hit me up in an email, join the group. We're going to try to get through this together. But, it's for the folks out there who are interested in trying to get through it. If you're not interested in trying to get through it, look, more power to you. Look, I can't make everybody want what I want. I can't make everybody want to be great. I can't. I know that. I tried. It doesn't work. But for those who do and who are trying, hey, look, you got a network, you got a team, you got a support system. We're here. Okay, let's do this together. And with that being said, I'm going to be putting together some programs of sort for the folks that were out there who are trying. Okay, I have a goal, I have a mission, I have a vision, I have a passion to help, and I want to help people. Okay, and the people that I want to help, there's a few of them, but let's just sum it up with I want to help the people who can't help themselves. Not the people who choose not to do anything, not the people who choose to give up, but I want to help the people who literally can't help themselves because, I had to step back and think about a lot of the things that I've been sharing and saying on this channel and these videos and these updates with you guys. And the simple fact of the matter is I feel as though everybody can do everything and anything, but that's a blanket statement that's in my mind that I keep that allows me to continue, to try, to do, to grow. Because if I said anything different, then I would probably not be where I am today. But I do need to take into consideration and keep in mind and put myself in the perspective of other people's shoes that it isn't always the case. And they literally can't, okay? And actually, Squirrel Tribe, my wife, Michelle, Mrs. Kevin, she has helped me understand this more and more every single day. And it's not that not everybody wants to. It's literally that some people physically, mentally can't do it. So I want to help those people, number one. And before that, I want to make sure I help those people. So we're not using these special charities and organizations that are going to take most of the money and keep it for themselves. We're going to find a way to do this ourselves directly, 100% directly to the people who really need it and touch those lives. For the people who can't help themselves, number one. Number two, this is coming from somebody who's tried really hard and has, succeeded and has probably succeeded a lot because of how hard I've tried and people realizing that and then wanting to help. Somebody asked me and said, how did you do this? You're so young and you pulled all this stuff off. I'm like, I guess I just got lucky. And they said, no, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I honestly believe that. So in addition to the people who can't help themselves, I want to help the people who are really trying to help themselves. So for those folks out there, we're going to have to put something together. We're going to have to get together because if you're trying, if you're grinding, if you're hustling, and this help may not be financial, it may not be monetary, it may just be a phone call, it may be a connection, it may be a shout out, it may be a promotion, it may be a link, it may be an order or a sale. See what I'm saying? It's kind of like my daughter asked me, she goes, would you rather have $1 million or 1 million friends? I'll let you guys answer that question. We'll talk about that in another video. But I want to help those people too. And also, I want to help the kids because the kids are the future. And not always do the kids have the opportunities to grow up with the greatest options available to them and groups and networks and friends and circles around them and family. And one, I like to see people happy. I like to see them smile. And, seeing a kid enjoy growing up as a kid is unbelievable. And I want to make sure that we have those kids around in the future to make the world a better place. So with that being said, we're putting together a big plan on how to help so many people. And if you guys want to be a part of it, I would love it. The more the merrier. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to continue to bring you more updates. We got some live streams coming up. We're going to break down what's going on with the economy, what's going on in the world, what to expect, how to prepare, and just kind of work through it, basically. As always, check these videos out. Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. Comment, share. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.